What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Noisy Business Podcast. Garrett is out of town this week.
He is dead.
So,
that is to say, he's in Hawaii.
He's in Hawaii.
But just fine because he can't work out what button means. Did you not know? Okay. You know about the missile scare?
Oh, okay, yeah. Ooh. Go on.
Yeah. So in Hawaii, they I think it was either Sunday or Monday, where everyone got an Amber Alert, but for a missile incoming, and they're like, "This is not a drill," and
turns out it was just a false alarm.
Turns out someone pressed the wrong button.
Yeah. No, I had friends that sent "I love you so much, I don't know what's gonna happen" text.
Oh, if you don't know,
and then how long did it take for them to just say "Oh, sorry, that was an accident"?
You know? Too long.
It took
excessively.
It took about 28 minutes. I think it was about half an hour, which was way too long for some people.
They're just sitting there waiting.
But if you're listening to this and you're like, wait a second, Garrett's voice sounds a little bit different. Well, we did already say that he's on vacation.
It's true.
So we asked somebody.
We replaced him really quickly.
We replaced him very quickly. Not with somebody that we dragged off the alley.
Very easily too.
Very easily, yeah. He's been wanting to be a guest on this podcast for a while.
It's true. Quit writing letters. I'm not getting them.
We don't check our email enough. That's probably why he started writing the letters.
Oh, that's true.
That's my bad. All right. Anyway, introducing the second guest host of all time.
Oh, he's hosting?
Oh, he's a guest host. I would say we're hosts.
Are we hosting?
Yeah.
I always considered us co-host and Garrett just a regular guest.
All right. So anyway, we got Dru Hatch here. One of my best good friends. Known him for a long time.
Stop it.
Go on. You know a lot about Star Wars. He's probably there's only two people that enjoy Star Wars as much as I know.
Hamsters.
What?
Are you not constantly talking about hamsters?
No, that's the other Dru Hatch.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. One with a bigger beard.
So anyway, now that we've introduced, it's Sean, Brayton, and Dru on this episode. Let's go back to Hawaii.
Let's go back to Hawaii. Yeah. Take me back, country way. Anyhow, yeah, okay. Garrett's are there having a grand old time. If you're following his Instagram stories, you can follow him on his Instagram. I'm not going to plug his Instagram.
I won't either. It's okay. Yeah. He doesn't pay me enough. He doesn't pay me at all.
He should.
He promised that he would. And
I've seen it. You don't have to follow it. It's pictures of Hawaii.
It's true. You can actually just Google pictures of Hawaii. It'll look around the same.
Yeah. There are plenty of other podcast hosts that have been to Hawaii that post good pictures. Why limit yourself to Garrett? Anyway, I'm specifically. So Dru is just the second co-host, if I can call you that. He's the second co-host, but he's for sure going to pass up our previous co-host, Sam, and Dru will be our favorite guest host.
Yeah, we'll post a poll.
For sure.
We'll see. We'll need to take a picture of Sam. Take a picture of Dru, and then we'll post a poll on social media.
Oh, that can be our social media post after this episode?
Has to die.
I feel like you guys are setting me up to fail a little bit.
I mean, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say anything against my friend Sam, but the guy he really sucks.
He's just kind of the worst person ever.
He had no idea what he was getting himself into.
And yes, I know you're listening, Sam.
I don't think he does.
What? Oh.
I think he listens.
Wow.
Yeah, so we can say whatever we want about Sam.
He's been on the podcast more than he's listened. That's great.
Well, not equal times.
Actually, that's a great idea. Why don't we get into that demographic where to get people to listen to episodes, we have them on host the episode.
So every single week you have to have a new host. That way you at least have one.
Well, if we want to,
by the end of this,
we'll expand our audience by that much. So, in 300 episodes, we'll probably have 150 listeners.
We just ask.
I'm highballing.
By the way, would you listen to this podcast?
They're like,
after being on it?
I don't want to aim for the stars here, but I think we could get at least 80 people to listen.
We could get
I think I'll listen to
generous.
this one. Maybe not any future.
Was that
episodes.
microphone on and we were actually recording that conversation? Is what they would say, and they'd say that was terrible. That was really stupid.
I find that with podcasts, everybody always wants to be on one, and then they always hate the one that they're on.
Well, speaking of that, how's it going so far? This is your first podcast.
Ooh, that's right.
Oh, it's just swell so far.
It's just everything that you've dreamed of. We're sitting in a living room. It's too warm for comfort right now.
I am sitting on your lap as well. I'm breathing heavily into
It's
your
cool
ear.
that you can make your voice sound so far away, though.
Hey, that's the power of podcast.
So, okay, so this is going to be a fun segue. Most segues are pretty fun.
It's true. Shoot for the stars, bro.
All right, so check it out. So Dru's a co-host for the first time,
It's true.
and he probably has listened. He's listened to multiple episodes, maybe all but one or two. I think.
No, I've listened to all of them.
He's listened to all of them.
I've listened to all your episodes, yeah.
So
Boy.
he knows that we love our top 10 lists.
It's true.
Uh-huh.
He also knows that we enjoy our National Day,
Uh-huh.
our National Day discussions, and it's a bummer because today actually
There's
completely
nothing going on.
sucks. There's nothing going on. So what is it? The
We are-
18th or 17th?
Today is the 18th. Yes.
Sure.
It's National 18th
Yeah,
of
there's
January.
there's
It's
nothing.
not-
So if you're listening and you want to have a pet your gerbil day, go for it on January 18th. It's not taken by anything good.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
not even Flag Day.
It's not even Flag Day. I
Not
think
even.
yesterday was National Hug Day. Give a hug day.
Boo.
Tomorrow is National Popcorn Day.
Do they know that free hugs can be given at any time? I've seen YouTube videos.
You
about
could have
it.
ranked your
You
top
could-
5 favorite popcorns if this was only tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, we
Wait,
can
top
pretend.
10, top 5 favorite popcorns? All right.
Only 5? Regular.
Regular,
Less salted.
caramel,
Cheese.
ones with
White
butter.
cheddar.
Cheddar?
White cheddar.
Oh, white cheddar.
Yellow
You
cheddar.
can't have regular cheddar on?
That's all. I said cheese. I think that regular cheese.
Yeah, I think just regular popcorn with butter has to be number 1, right?
What do you
Like,
think,
no one's
Drew?
asking, give me some caramel corn.
No, regular popcorn with butter. That sounds great.
It's true.
Yeah.
No, I like caramel corn better.
No,
though.
but really, like on the day-to-day, you go to the movie theater, you're like, man, I wish that they had caramel.
Right? You're
Okay,
like,
okay.
oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
Really?
I
well,
wish
You
that they
could-
had caramel corn. Oh, well, that's because I'm a big caramel enthusiast. I would say.
Oh, would you? What's your top 5 caramels?
Oh, I'm glad that you asked. Do they involve chocolate or not? Or I can do anything that involves caramel.
You're the caramel connoisseur.
All right. Well, we'll
connoisseur.
keep it simple here, and by that I mean Simply Caramel by Milky Way Mars Company.
Ooh.
It's a Milky Way bar, but it takes away the chocolate flavored nougat. It's just caramel coated. Chocolate coated caramel or caramel coated
It'd be
chocolate.
chocolate.
Mhm.
There's
It'd be
caramel on the
coated.
inside. Caramel.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are Milk Duds chocolate?
Yeah, Milk
caramel?
Duds are caramel. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I would maybe put that on a top 10, but you're
Oh.
putting me on the spot here.
That's all right.
Brolos are good.
You're doing your
Brolos?
favorite things with caramel, though. You're not doing your top 10 caramels.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean what you would say?
Yeah, you'd be like number 1.
Werther's?
Salted caramel. Number
Yeah.
2.
Oh, well,
Unsalted
that's what I said.
caramel.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Pistachio. Caramel.
All right, well, we're not going to talk about that.
Hey, you got a
because-
top 10 list anyway.
Yeah. There you go. We didn't plan it, and you still got
true.
somewhat
In
some
real-
Some
list.
partial lists.
I'd
Some
also like
partialists on Sean's
to
caramel.
say I hate popcorn. All those corns are not going to be on my top 5 anything.
I never get popcorn when I go to the movie theater. I'll share it if somebody else gets it, or if my wife wants popcorn, I'll order popcorn and maybe have a little bit. But I hate it, the fact that you can get a kernel stuck in your tooth.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can't
No,
get
no,
it
no.
out for the whole movie.
Yeah.
You
I
pull
would
it out
not-
like 2 weeks later. You're like, when did I have
You're like,
popcorn?
when
You're
did
having
I-
to
No.
think back to the last time.
Exactly.
I will knock it out of my wife's hands if she gets popcorn. It is the worst because the last time was probably years ago when I had popcorn. They get in your teeth and it gets so bad that I don't want to develop a hobby of trying to get popcorn out of my mouth, but when it gets right in between your gums and your teeth, and every time you try and pull it out, it just goes even further into your gums.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And
Okay. So what do you? I hate.
top 5 is also the top
I hate
worst
being
popcorns.
having things stuck in my teeth. I think something else that I actually enjoyed, not unlike popcorn,
That's what
is beef jerky. But beef jerky can get stuck in your teeth. You know what I'm talking about?
What kind of beef jerky are you eating?
Dentist, the regular,
like glass
caramel
jerky?
beef jerky.
What? Caramel beef jerky?
Oh, that's the next one on my list. Caramel beef jerky.
That's 3. You got 2 more.
Yeah. All right. I'll work my way.
All
I
right.
gotta pace myself here. No. When you go to the dentist, they might have something on the wall that says, "We don't want you to eat these things next time you come in for a cleaning or something." Oreos is always at the top of that list.
Nerds are not on the list, even though they should be.
Nerds.
Nerds.
Little
Little
nerds.
nerds.
Oreos.
Oh, when you crunch it.
Oreo, yeah, Oreos are because they're the little black fine pieces of
Debris.
Well, we don't have to bring color into this.
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay. You know what? We mentioned the color thing. Should we just go into our next segment about Martin Luther King Jr.?
Yeah, top 10.
No, it doesn't have to be a list
Oh.
because maybe there's more than 10 black people that we can name off the top of our heads and it's not going to be a problem, so we might just have to do like 3 or 4. Obama, Denzel Washington, and like 2 other ones. Samuel L. Jackson. Do we need to list any? Okay, all right. So on
Is a top 3 list? That's much more prestigious, I think.
Because
and more concise.
Yeah, and it would also make sense because there's usually 3 people on this podcast. You would have to just choose one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Or is it we choose 3 and we have to have a consensus?
No, we're gonna go around. Drew
hold
can
on.
start
What-
because
how
I
are
think
we,
I already
how
know.
are we ranking black people again?
You're
What's
gonna.
going on?
We're just gonna say your favorite black person,
Oh.
and it has nothing about them being black. It's just they happen. That's just the color of
Well,
their skin.
that's exactly what it sounded like. Your favorite black person. It's not because they're black, but that's the qualifying factor that we're using in this situation.
I don't know. I wish that we just lived in a place where it's like, yes, that's a black person. I'm a white person. Doesn't matter.
So I can say Eminem and...
No,
Be okay.
that's a white person.
Are you sure he's not honorary?
He's a.
We need to fact
When
check
I wake
that.
up, when I wake up in the morning, I can be a little honorary. Okay, so Drew, go ahead. Who's your favorite?
Well,
Who's your-
it'd be Denzel
and
Washington.
try not to be racist.
Try.
Denzel Washington,
Denzel
the
Washington.
safest. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, yeah, no, maybe he's
No,
he's the best one though.
He's
I mean, that's
maybe
just-
he's probably he's for sure in my top 3 favorite male actors of all time.
He's probably not just he's my favorite all-time actor, and he's probably my favorite all-time person.
He's a really cool person in interviews for sure. He seems knowledgeable without being cocky, down to earth without being annoying.
And you
or
only ever hear about him when he's doing a movie. He's just a great guy, probably.
He's true.
I've never either that or he's just really good at keeping his skeletons inside of his closet, which is fine. That's
Yeah, which
Well,
is
yeah.
fine.
Which,
I
come
mean,
on, Hollywood.
well done.
Just if you're gonna
Yeah.
be making moves on ladies, you could have been a little more subtle about it 30 years ago. Like everybody,
You know, come on.
everybody.
Just go like Cosby.
Who,
He was
the
subtle.
biggest one that kind of, well, it wasn't a surprise. I was kind of surprised it took that long. Was Stan Lee?
Did
Marvel?
something come out about Stan
Oh,
Lee?
this was like a
I
week
was going to
ago.
say, this is your number 3 black person?
Stan Lee is a real nigga.
He is not... He is...
The man has
He is
had
not-
more white meat than Church's Chicken has sold.
He is not... I'm not talking about the comic book writer. I'm just talking about
He's
my
a man,
friend Stanley.
Stanley. He's been in jail many time
We've been pen
for
pals.
touching women.
Oh.
He deserved it though, and he's black. He's a dog. No.
He's
no.
a real
no
dog.
Stan Lee, Marvel, Spider-Man,
Okay.
man. Yeah.
What happened?
I think he goes around. He's like, "Did you know that I'm in like a lot of movies and I don't have any wives anymore because they've passed away and I'm lonely." Okay. Anyway, the controversy is, if you don't know, I'm gonna go back. He has in-home nurses, that help take care of him because he's a pretty old guy. He's getting up there. So the rumor is that the company that hires the
Supplies the hot, sexy maids.
yeah, it's like what outfits are they wearing in the first place? You can't blame the guy if they're walking around in like French maid outfits and he's like, I think you missed a spot a little lower. Down here.
they are required
And they're like,
to talk
oh,
like that.
Stanley.
Oh, Stanley.
So there was a couple, there was more than one, I think there's 2, that worked for, the third party hiring company, and they both went to the HR department of that company and they said that Mr. Lee has been making inappropriate moves. He's saying inappropriate things. He's demanding that they shower with him, that they watch him touch himself.
He's like, I'm just worried
these are things that they've said, and he said that it's preposterous.
Oh,
And
that's a big
I'm
word.
like, for somebody that is so animated and seems to love life and seems like a horn dog, I don't think it's too far-fetched to think that he probably does those
He
kind of things.
is on his way out.
I was
like,
gonna say, is it really that bad? Because if he's on his way out,
Well,
he's got to be as forward as possible at
That's
this
right.
point.
He's
He doesn't
got
have time to date.
He has I can't woo you. The thing is all these kind of like rich people, why aren't they just getting hookers? I mean, that's what I do.
I think
I can't afford a hooker.
I think it's all about the thrill of the chase.
It's a power play.
Yeah, whenever you're that rich, it's like money can buy you anything.
Right.
Well, or you don't have to pay for it.
That's kind of like the Louis C.K. thing, where it's
No.
when you're just
Well, I think that guy was
wanking
just
it in front of the ladies.
a lonely guy that didn't know how to be classy, or it's just worked for him enough in the past.
He's just in a tux.
He's like,
corner of a party.
I put on a
like,
3-piece
I just
suit.
don't know how to be classy.
No, I think I'm
can't
saying.
help it.
Mom
never taught me not to.
I never heard the word no. I heard the word stop and please don't. All right. So I think that Louis C.K. and other people, that there is this idea that they are getting caught, that there's all these women coming forward, maybe multiple women for the same person in Hollywood, because they've been doing the same thing for so long, and either there's women that are into it or not into it. I think there's two categories. First of all, the women that are not into it necessarily don't say, no, that's bad, that's inappropriate.
Right.
Like, you know what
Well,
I'm saying?
it's kind of part of why they got
Like,
away with
don't
it for
do
so
it.
long. Is because
there's a lot of women
who
that
say yes.
Well, I mean, also, who are you going to tell? Like, let's say you convince one person to print about it in some local newspaper, and so a bunch of people in South Dakota.
Are you
are
kidding
like...
me? You know how? Okay, if you had a story, it's like, if I was a woman, I'd be like, Jerry Seinfeld's not convicted, and like maybe he really did do something, maybe he didn't. But if you went to like any news place, any newspaper, whatever it is, if you go and you say, yeah, Jerry Seinfeld like did XYZ to me, however many years ago, they would for sure buy that up. That's everything that they want to report on. It's the
true,
juicy, dirty
well, I mean,
stuff.
And no matter what, like even if the information out there, I think a big portion of it is kind of the climate of when people do come out, because it is such a personal thing. Like when it came out that Bill Cosby was doing that to so many women, how many people or how many women did it take for us to kind of go, maybe he did do it, you know? Because just statistically, you're like, they can't all be lying.
The first three, you're like, not Bill Cosby,
right.
Not my Bill Cosby,
exactly.
And then 15 are out, and you're like, okay, maybe he was a little inappropriate. And then when the number got to like 60, 30. You're like, certainly some of these women are telling the truth.
Okay, all right. Well, speaking of, is it inappropriate for me to put Bill Cosby as my favorite black person? Is that wrong?
I would probably say
the guy he's a hustler. You gotta hand it to him. He had it down. He had a routine, and it worked for a long time.
He was like halfway blind, and it was still working.
I think it's sad though that they wait until these men are. Well, I'm not trying to victimize the men for sure, but they've already, they're over the hill. They've already had their success, their years of fame. They're older guys for the most part. It's like, yeah, people like Bill Cosby, Stan Lee. It's like they're older guys, and you're going after them now. Is it because you think they seemed more powerful back in the day?
I think there's probably a lot of things like that we as guys probably wouldn't even think of. But I think part of it is just women feel safer now that it's kind of out and about and they can talk about it.
For sure, I think Bill Cosby was definitely the forerunner for that. And like as soon as he got convicted, right, everyone goes like, "Oh, so like women in particular, they're like, oh, so you guys will listen now." And so, so now we can do it. And so then Weinstein
Harvey
Weinstein,
okay, I mean, but there's people like that were dirty dogs for a long time.
Oh yeah,
that should have been called out a long time ago, and everybody knew it. Who was it? It wasn't Robert Downey Jr. It was Seth MacFarlane, whenever he was hosting, I think it was the Golden Globes or whatever award show he was hosting. This was maybe 5 years ago, something like that. He made a big Harvey Weinstein joke about how, he's a man whore and he's a pervert. Right. And everybody laughed. Yeah. But there was a lot of truth behind that. And everybody knew it, but nobody cared.
And I think there was some quotes by Ben Affleck that was part of it too. And I mean, that just goes to show you that it could be anywhere. And...
Well, I mean, part of the thing is like Hollywood showed a lot of women that they did not care. Roman Polanski, do you guys know who he is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he directed The Pianist and a couple other movies, and he got convicted of having sex with like a 13-year-old girl or something like that. Convicted of that, went back to his own country so we couldn't do anything, and after he went back, we gave him an Academy Award.
Yeah, that...
So if you're saying if there's any hope of trying to get away with it, you need to do it in another country, go back home and wait till you're presented with an award.
Exactly. That's the main thrust of this episode, right?
That is...
I think we've...
I think we've talked this one out pretty well.
All
this
right,
one could just be called Top Black Men, Me Too.
I was going to say Black Men on Top, Me Too.
Hey, we're spitballing here.
All right, so we got Denzel Washington. We covered Bill Cosby. Brayton, throw another name in the pot.
Okay, I feel like you have to since he was on our last podcast. Since he was the top one of the top 10 sexiest presidents, Barack Obama. I mean,
you're such what a cop out, dude.
God.
We talked about him already. Talk about somebody else we haven't talked about. Nice try, Brayton. Brayton's the most politically
I know, but he picked the president.
Person.
Like what? He picked I picked an actor. You
Fine.
picked a convicted felon.
O.J. Simpson.
We're trying to cover all spectrums.
O.J. Simpson, my favorite.
my favorite
man.
juice beverage.
My favorite juice beverage.
Retired football player and somebody that owned
and an author.
An author. There's nothing more notable about him.
Yeah, black is the new orange is the new black.
Yeah, we did not have a controversial list at all.
Yeah, it was very controversial, but we didn't really have a lot of controversy. I'm like, O.J. and Bill Cosby. What's Denzel Washington doing on this list?
I should have went. Oh, Wesley Snipes.
Oh, I was gonna say, who's the guy in the Star Wars movie with the face that always looks like he learned something disgusting with the lazy eye? He was in Rogue One.
What's his name? Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, Forrest Whitaker. The guy that... the man that looks happy and depressed all at the same time.
In Rogue One.
Yes, yeah.
Georgia Rebellion! Deceive the dream! Damn that!
Hey, did you guys like that one?
Which Rogue One?
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah?
It was fine.
It was fine compared to other recent Star Wars installments that we're probably going to have to talk about.
Yeah, I would say I enjoyed it a little bit more than The Last Jedi, but I think I have to rewatch The Last Jedi and kind of like...
I haven't seen The Force Awakens since I've seen it in theaters, so I'd really have to compare...
Well, okay, so I've seen The Last Jedi a few times now.
Okay, so before Drew, you get into it, I have to say, you saw it, I saw it, we both agreed that we disliked it. It was... underwhelming.
Also, are we going to get into spoiler territory?
Yeah, of course.
Spoiler
and so, anyway, after me and Drew both agreed that it was underwhelming and it didn't meet expectations, we found out Drew goes and sees it again. I need to ask you, what was your motive behind that, and are you okay?
And are you okay?
Well, since the last time that we talked about this, I have I've gathered different opinions.
Okay.
I've not gathered different opinions. I've developed a new opinion.
I found other opinions that other people have, and I made them my own.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've developed a slightly different opinion.
Ooh.
All right, go for it.
Well, I don't know. I would argue that, okay, so when I saw it the first time, watching Princess Leia explode out into space and then use the Force to pull herself back in.
Terrible.
Which was within the first, 15, 20 minutes of the movie, really, I felt embarrassed. Like, I got my girlfriend to watch, 8 Star Wars movies. I got her to watch 8 Star Wars movies leading up to that day. And then we went and saw that. And to have that happen...
Wait, so she had not seen any Star Wars
movies? None of them.
movies?
She didn't even know that Darth Vader was Luke Skywalker's father.
What?
She was so
and she is still your girlfriend?
Yes. Well, now she's watched them.
Well, she did.
We watched Empire. We watched Empire Strikes Back, and when
it was iffy there.
When Darth Vader goes, Luke, I am your father. She goes, what? That's not true.
What? Why is this movie lying to me?
Like, well, he's so true. Master manipulator.
Who wrote this movie? They got it wrong.
What? She's like, wait, so he was the cute little kid from the first one?
Oh, yeah, because you probably had her watch episode 1.
Oh, you had her watch it in succession?
I had her watch it in a weird order, but she had seen episode 1 by the time.
Wait, you had her watch it in a weird order?
So
I started with 1.
What I did, here was my mindset, okay? You go, episodes 1, episode 2. So she goes, oh, okay, so this is Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is Anakin. Who are these people? What are they? And then I skipped to Rogue One. And so now she sees Darth Vader. She sees these other characters. And then we jump right from there to A New Hope. And we get into that. And she's, so Obi-Wan Kenobi. Oh, but he's old now. And who's this Luke guy? You know, whatever.
Okay.
And then we watched Empire Strikes Back. So she could be like, wait, Darth Vader is Anakin? And then we went back, watched... Revenge of the Sith, so she could see the transformation.
Wow. I see.
So that was the order that I kind of.
I'm surprised you put Rogue One in there before.
Yeah, because
A New Hope. I felt
like A New Hope starts 10 minutes after Rogue One ends, and I actually really, really liked Rogue One a lot. It's probably one of my favorite ones.
That's fair. That's fair. That's not the worst decision.
Although she actually hated that one. She said that was the worst one of all.
A lot of people feel it's overrated.
Yeah.
A lot of people feel it is overrated. I did like it.
That was, like I said, that's like a top 3 of all the Star Wars movies. That's probably a top 3 favorite of mine. But.
Interesting. So the thing is, I probably would. I think Rogue One. If you watch it right before A New Hope, it's just I think A New Hope is so much better when you do watch Rogue One because you're like, oh shoot, that's why the plans are so much more important. But I guess watching it beforehand really wouldn't make too much.
I also love that. Just the idea that Rogue One answered the question, why did they build the Death Star with a weakness like that in the first place? Mm-hmm. It's like, they really
that was always a giant plot hole, and whoever wrote that managed to you know what, we can actually just make that not a plot hole.
And make it like a strength of the overall story because it ties in the whole thing about the rebellion.
True. Yeah, true.
It actually worked really well. I gotta applaud. That was the best thing about Rogue One, maybe. Yeah. Like one of the better things is that it actually. Not only did it transition super, super well into A New Hope, it answered questions that have been around since the first Star Wars movie.
True.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, what were your initial opinions of the latest Star Wars movie, and then what changed?
Oh, it was the worst movie. I was so mad. Disney destroyed Star Wars.
Sean said that too. He said he's not going to watch another Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I heard.
I said that they're doing the same thing. To Star Wars that they're doing with Pirates of the Caribbean. Granted, I watched the latest Pirates of the Caribbean movie and I was like, actually, I enjoyed it.
No, it's fine.
So now my theory's a little topsy-turvy.
Now I will watch Star Wars movies.
No, now I will watch the next one. Okay, anyway. So, did your opinion change after you watched...
Okay, so when I watched it a second time, there was just, some more clarity. So, it really lost me there. And then also, I hate those porgs. They're just there to sell toys and they annoy me.
Yes.
And so you see Princess Leia explode out into space, somehow be the only person that's still even whole out there. Actually, everyone else got disintegrated except for her.
It's actually a very good point. She should have saved some other people.
There was nobody else to save because I guess the Force kept her from exploding. Whatever. It was so dumb.
You kind of explained
and then she used the Force to come back in. Yeah. And the very next scene is Chewie roasting these porgs. He's killed them. He's plucked them. He's stuck a stick up their ass. He's put them over a fire.
He's ready to chow down.
They're looking at him with those cute eyes, and he just can't eat it because that's too far.
Well, in front of them, Chewie's...
And I'm like, eat the damn bird. Just eat it. I was so mad.
You put seasonings on it.
And then I felt like whenever they first announced this whole thing, I talked with all my friends all the time about how the lightsaber fight scenes got so much better in the prequels, even for all their flaws. The lightsaber fight scenes were so cool. And so to think Luke Skywalker, who we all knew went on to become this great Jedi Master, is going to come back, and there's just going to be this awesome lightsaber fight scene.
The wreckage.
And to give us nothing, it's a giant middle finger. I literally went through that whole movie waiting for him to gather himself and just stop being soft. Just stop being a whiner again, you know. And then at the end of the movie, he shows up, and then, you know, that whole scene happens. You figure out he's an apparition or whatever. And I thought that was cool, because for a second I was like, he's going to be back in the next one. And that almost made the movie okay for me.
I remember feeling that too.
Yeah.
And then almost you're like, God dang it! You guys!
This is the worst movie I've ever seen. I'll never watch another one again. But watching it, so basically something that's happened is a lot of the flaws I had with it, I realized, and this makes me just depressed to say, because I thought J.J. Abrams, I thought he did a pretty decent job in the last one, even though I would have done some things differently.
Yeah.
And then I viewed, what's this guy's name? Ryan Johnson, as being just the worst thing that happened. And then I realized that a lot of the things that Ryan Johnson did were because he got a bad setup.
I wouldn't say bad setup.
He got a bad... Okay,
no,
here's the thing.
Well, it doesn't matter about your setup. He made it worse, though, the overall story, though.
A couple years ago, whenever Force Awakens came out, one of my complaints about that movie was that... Because after I watched that one, I went back and, you know, had rewatched the originals. And in Empire Strikes Back, Luke senses that Han and Leia are in trouble. He senses that they're in trouble from across the galaxy, and I gotta go. I gotta help him. I gotta save him. And he runs off to go do that. But in The Force Awakens, 6 planets blow up. Han dies. Where's Luke Skywalker for any of this? He's just gone.
Well, he's choosing to ignore.
He doesn't want to...
Well, then in the next one, you realize... Well, Ryan Johnson, I feel like, kind of almost needed to explain that. And he explained that by saying he's shut himself off from the Force. He doesn't...
Right.
Because he's not a hero.
The Jedi either are corrupt or, you know, they're just not good. They need to die. He's trying to end it because he doesn't believe in what the Jedi were anymore.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want to be involved.
Yeah, I think the main story that Luke and Rey had, I enjoyed the most in the movie.
Least liked was Finn's storyline because it didn't matter at all.
No, that one could have been gone. Although the whole movie...
I want to see the director's cut where they cut that part out.
Honestly, the part where he drives his little speeder ship thing at the end into the laser battering ram, and then that slows him down and everybody runs away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then maybe that inspires Rose to become a bigger hero.
Right.
Oh, that would have made her character better also. Yeah. But no.
Because she's like, he's willing to sacrifice for this. And
they made the Asian female driver crash. Really, Disney? For all the female empowerment going on, you really kind of took a couple big steps back. Okay, really, I gotta say...
well, I gotta get to work, but I shall be back. Future reference,
all right,
keep talking on it.
We're gonna finish this conversation whenever you come back from work. Then, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
This one's real, guys. No editing.
Yeah, we definitely don't like play either. That they like leave. They're like, is he actually leaving? No, they actually leave right in the middle of the podcast.
That's it.
I'm out.
All right. Okay, bye. God. No. Okay. So I think it's funny that. Maybe because it's Disney and, you know, it's a new generation. They're really trying to market a lot of things to girls and introducing a lot of strong women characters. I think it's super funny that in Rogue One you have the leaders of the rebellion, Leia, purple-haired lady. I don't remember her name.
Oh, she was a waste.
And Rose is the new female character that is... Her sister sacrificed herself at the bombing thing, you know?
Which was maybe one of the best scenes of the whole movie.
Anyway, all these female characters... They don't do anything.
That purple-haired lady, whose name I also don't remember, was the worst. Because if she had said, all right, guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to keep going, and then we're going to fuel these ships, and we're going to leave, and they won't even notice that we're leaving. Everyone would have been like, oh, okay, that sounds like a good plan. Yeah. Let's do that. But instead, she's just such a jerk about the whole thing. Oh, I know people like you. Just leave. You've been demoted.
Yeah,
like, whatever.
What's up with that?
And of course he got desperate. Of course, like, they all made an act of desperation. What else were they going to do? They didn't want to die.
Yeah. So, and you took your biggest rogue, heroic character that wasn't a Jedi. You have Poe, who wasn't super developed in the first one, but in this one he had a big opportunity to, like, step up, you know, at the beginning, you know, they said that he was the reason they lost all their bombers. Granted, probably true. But then they just emasculate his character, and he doesn't do anything except run around on the ship and tells the women that they have to do something more than just let everybody blow up. And they don't listen to him. And at the end, there's like, 11, 12 people left in the
entire rebellion fits in one room.
Yeah, and on one ship.
Yeah.
On the Millennium Falcon. And if I was Poe, I'd be really pissed off. I'd be like, you know what? I'm Poe, I'm not sexist, but the women cannot lead a rebellion to save their lives. Obviously, they didn't save anybody's lives.
They're all dead.
They're all dead. And also died. Admiral Akbar is killed off screen.
Yeah, and then they just mention, we'd lost Admiral Akbar.
And everybody's like all glum about it, but it's like...
No, it's just like when Han Solo died in the last one. I thought it was so weird. They come back, and they're all happy because they did blow up that ship, whatever it's called, right? And they get off, and Leia looks sad for like a second, and then Chewie just joins the cheering crowd, hands up in the air, like so happy. He just watched... Like, he sounded sad 5 minutes before that, but, like, now he's over it.
Oh, man. So, the one thing that I keep coming back to with all these decisions that they're making as far as filmmaking goes is that they're really making it for a younger audience is what it feels like.
Yeah. Okay, so one thing, though, and I don't like that whole casino part and all that. I don't like it. Yeah,
that was stupid.
I wish it was gone. But one thing is the theme of the movie seems to be failure, because by the end of the movie you realize everybody failed.
Yeah,
in that
failed
whole
their mission,
movie.
yeah.
And that's the theme, and so they just needed to find another way for Poe to fail, but, because he's the main character. So, like, Rey fails in bringing Luke back. Luke failed at helping out Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
And, the lady failed at getting everyone safely. Just the whole movie,
So is Kylo Ren the only person that kind of succeeded because he killed Snoke and he didn't join the light side? He kind of kept doing his own thing?
No, I would say that he failed too, though. I mean, they all had little wins. For instance, the rebellion still exists, even if it's small.
Yeah.
And he is in charge now, but he didn't get... There was like 11 people he needed to catch.
Yeah, and he couldn't do it.
Yeah. Because of something that he could have actually done. He was fighting a ghost.
Oh, man.
He didn't even realize.
So, I've told people this, I think I talked about on the last podcast, that I was so disappointed with this last movie that I'm not going to see the next ones in theaters. I'm going to wait. Mm-hmm. Do you think I'm going to be able to uphold that, or I'm going to cave? If the Han Solo movie or Episode 9 comes out and they're like, oh, you know what, it's the best of the new trilogy, or like, this is better than Rogue One, I
expect you to not see Solo.
Okay.
I think you'll see the next one, though.
All right. Well, if other people that know me are listening to this, Robbie... Josh, anybody else, if you don't know me and you want to leave a comment on our social media page thinking that Sean's going to fail the Don't Watch Star Wars challenge, maybe I'm going to make a hashtag that's not a hashtag yet. But let me know if you think I will or will not, and then we'll see what everybody thinks of me and my self-control. Alright, anyway, this has been a great conversation. Signing off for Brayton and myself. Thank you, Dru, for coming on to the podcast. This has been a nice conversation.
Oh, yeah, it was a real-life pleasure.
It was a real-life pleasure. All right, thanks for listening to No Noisy Business Podcast. Take it easy.